Evil dolls destroyed but too powerful to stay gone. Ed and Lorraine Warren thought they had sealed away these malevolent spirits for good, but some dark forces refuse to be silenced. These haunted dolls didn't just survive, they came back to life, bringing terror with them. Let's dive into the chilling stories of the evil dolls that the Warrens couldn't keep dead. Annabelle is certainly the most famous of all of the dolls on this list today. With countless articles and videos and even an entire movie franchise, it is no wonder we know about Annabelle's horrifying essence. Before Annabelle was sealed behind a protective case in Ed and Lorraine Warren's occult museum, it was an innocent-looking Raggedy Ann doll gifted to Deidre Bernard by her mother. However, the doll's behavior soon turned sinister. Deidre would come home to find its limbs moved into different positions, even after she deliberately crossed them. Things then escalated quickly. Annabelle began moving to different rooms, leaving eerie notes, and even appearing with bloodstains. After consulting a medium, Deidre learned of a little girl's spirit, Annabelle Higgins, who claimed to have taken residence in the doll. Touched by the story, Deidre granted the spirit permission to stay, but the Warrens soon revealed that this was no innocent child. It was, in fact, a demonic entity using the doll to wreak havoc, leaving one of Deidre's friends severely injured. After a harrowing exorcism, the Warrens took Annabelle with them, but strange accidents followed, including the death of a priest who mocked the doll. Now locked in a glass case, Annabelle is a chilling reminder of the evil that can lie behind seemingly innocent objects. The shadow doll is one of the eeriest and most dangerous items in Ed and Lorraine Warren's occult museum. Unlike the infamous Annabelle, this doll was never meant to look innocent. Its twisted form was crafted using human and animal bones through dark occult rituals. The doll was believed to have the ability to project itself into the dreams of those who dared to even look at a photo of it. Sorry in advance for all of the photos you've just seen. But these weren't just ordinary nightmares. These visions were so horrifying that they could cause heart attacks or leave victims terrified of ever sleeping again. The doll has even been linked to several mysterious deaths, and some who encountered it woke up with scratches on their bodies. While the Warrens were able to contain it, the doll remains too dangerous to destroy. It said that any attempt to do so would unleash the malevolent spirits tied to its creation, which is why it now sits locked away, waiting in the Warrens Museum. A true relic of evil, the shadow doll reminds us that some curses are best left undisturbed. Deep in the woods of Connecticut, a strange and eerie doll stood abandoned, waiting to be discovered. A man walking through the forest was the first to encounter it, and he described an overwhelming sense of weakness and dread, as if the doll was draining his energy. After fleeing the unsettling figure, he encountered an old man in a black cloak who guided him out of the forest. While the origin of the doll remains a mystery, Lorraine Warren declared it as one of the most terrifying paranormal objects she'd ever come across, which I think says a lot. After taking it to their occult museum, she experienced terrifying phenomena, including levitation and falling into a catatonic state for days. The doll, with its lean, horned figure, may not look terrifying at a first glance, but its connection to dark rituals make it a powerful and dangerous artifact. Known as voodoo dolls or witch dolls, these two eerie figures were feared for their ability to attack the weakest and make their victims sick, even to the point of death. One doll had a noose around its neck, while the other's piercing eyes seemed to stare into the soul. A doll collector unknowingly brought these cursed dolls into her home, and soon after, her son's health began to deteriorate mysteriously. Despite locking the dolls away, they continued to wreak havoc, causing her son's condition to worsen despite no medical explanation. Desperate, the collector contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren, who immediately sensed the malevolent force behind the dolls and removed them. Afterward, her son's health improved. removed. The dolls were placed in the Warrens' occult museum for safekeeping, but one night, after a retired Navy commander broke the museum's protection by touching the dolls, they reappeared in a circle in the Warrens' basement. That same night, the commander suffered a terrible accident, claiming the dolls had been laughing at him as they watched from the shadows. The Devil Made Me Do It dinosaur toy is a particularly intriguing and eerie artifact housed in the Warren Occult Museum with a chilling backstory connected to one of the most unusual legal cases in American history. In 1980, David Glatzel became the center of a supposed demonic possession, which escalated dramatically when his older sister's boyfriend, Arn Cheyenne Johnson, allegedly took on the demon's challenge to leave David and possess him instead. The situation culminated in 1981 when Johnson fatally harmed Alan Bono, claiming the act was committed under demonic influence. This case marked the first time in US history that a defendant used demonic possession as a legal defense. The Warrens, deeply involved in this case, spent time with Johnson and his family supporting the idea that a demonic force was indeed at play. Despite their efforts, the court dismissed the demonic possession defense, which fair enough, and it led to Johnson's conviction and a 5-year prison sentence, which is also kind of crazy when you consider the fact that he killed somebody. The trial and its supernatural claims were later dramatized in the film The Conjuring: The Devil Made Me Do It. Why did I just explain all of this? Well, back to the cursed dinosaur toy. Among the strange occurrences reported during the possession was the bizarre behavior of David Glatzel's dinosaur toy, which was said to have levitated and ominously warned the family, quote, "You're all gonna die." This unsettling toy, now on display in the museum, is kept in an open container surrounded by rosary beads and other protective items, reflecting the Warrens' belief in its connection to the dark forces involved in the case. Next up, meet Gertrude, one of the lesser known but equally sinister dolls in Ed and Lorraine Warren's haunted collection. Though she doesn't share the fame of Annabelle, Gertrude's dark history is no less terrifying. Sitting quietly in the museum, her innocent appearance hides the malevolent energy attached to her. According to those familiar with her story, Gertrude has a way of unsettling visitors. Cold chills, whispers in the air, and strange shadows have all been reported near her display. Some claim that her eyes seem to follow you as you move, while others have experienced nightmares after coming too close. Like many of the cursed objects the Warrens collected, Gertrude is kept under careful protection to prevent her sinister influence from escaping. Okay, I gotta be honest. This doll is not in the Warren Occult Museum, and as far as I can tell, it is not one that has even been investigated by the Warrens, but the photos of this thing have creeped me out ever since I first saw it, and I just had to talk about it on today's list. Mr. Fritz, a haunted ventriloquist doll, has found his final resting place in the private collection of alternative entertainer Michael Diamond. While not connected to Ed and Lorraine Warren, Mr. Fritz shares the same eerie reputation as some of the most infamous haunted objects. Discovered in an antique mall in Myrtle Beach, the doll's unsettling presence has haunted every owner since the end of World War II. Originally crafted by Private Billy Booth to entertain fellow Allied prisoners of war at the German camp Stalag 2B, Mr. Fritz was made from newspaper and potato starch, a testament to the resourcefulness of prisoners during those incredibly harsh times. Billy and Mr. Fritz raised the morale of their fellow captives, even amusing some of the guards, until Billy's tragic execution just weeks before the camp was liberated. After the war, Mr. Fritz made his way back to the US as a relic of Billy's legacy, but how he ended up in a US antique mall remains a mystery. Once brought to the UK by a World War II memorabilia dealer, strange occurrences began to follow. The doll's display case would mysteriously open, its eyes and mouth would shift positions, and eventually it was banished to a shed after frightening people with ghostly laughter. think that's a fair place to draw the line. When Michael took ownership of the doll, these oddities continued, leading him to capture footage of Mr. Fritz's case opening on its own. Though his face is peeling and his body is little more than a mounted head, Mr. Fritz's influence is still very much alive. Now locked away in Diamond's freak room, alongside other bizarre artifacts, the doll's haunted reputation endures. The African fertility dolls, now housed in Ed and Lorraine Warren's occult museum, are shrouded in an unsettling history of black magic. These dolls were once in the possession of a powerful African witch doctor who, through dark rituals, imbued them with mystical energies. In certain regions of Africa, black magic is a deeply rooted practice, and one witch doctor was said to possess a collection of dolls with powerful energies through these rituals. These dolls, created with the intention to both harm and heal, were used by the witch doctor to manipulate the fates of individuals. According to legend, the dolls could bring about life or death, helping those who sought aid, or in more sinister cases, being used as tools of destruction. The dolls were believed to be able to curse their targets, leading to illness, suffering, and even death. While they were sometimes used for fertility rituals, bringing blessings of childbirth, they also carried a dark side, representing the dual nature of magic itself. Believing that the dolls were tied to black magic practices, the Warrens removed them to prevent further harm. Now locked away in the museum, the fertility dolls serve as a stark reminder of how dangerous spiritual forces can be channeled through seemingly innocent objects. The Phantom doll is a chilling artifact from a case where a family was haunted by an unseen entity linked to the doll. The family reported strange and terrifying occurrences, whispers in the dark, unexplained cold spots, and the eerie sight of the doll moving on its own. These disturbances escalated until they felt truly tormented by whatever malevolent force was attached to the doll. Ed and Lorraine Warren investigated and quickly concluded that the doll was acting as a vessel for a spirit, amplifying poltergeist-like activity within the house. After removing the Phantom doll from the home and securing it in their occult museum, the haunting stopped immediately. Now part of their notorious collection, the doll serves as a reminder that even seemingly innocent toys can harbor dangerous, otherworldly energies. Safely locked away, the Phantom doll no longer terrorizes the family, but its presence in the museum still unsettles visitors who dare to get too close. While the Shadow doll is notorious for its eerie presence and ability to haunt people's dreams, there are reports of another lesser-known doll that accompanied it, often referred to as the Companion. This second doll, also linked to dark occult practices, was believed to enhance the already terrifying power of the Shadow doll. Though not as widely recognized, the Companion doll was said to be equally malevolent, causing not only nightmares but physical harm to those who encountered it. People claimed to wake up with unexplained scratches and bruises, as if the doll's dark energy manifested in more direct and violent ways. Together, the two dolls created a potent and dangerous combination, amplifying each other's cursed powers. While the Shadow doll is the one most discussed, the existence of its sinister partner in the same case adds an even darker layer to the already frightening story. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Now before we head out, I'm just gonna do a very quick comment shout out. The video that I'm shouting out comments from was Proof Fairies Exist, Scientists Can No Longer Ignore. Alright, some interesting stuff. Go check it out if you haven't already. The Raven Lord 1 said, I'm on good terms with the Fae. There's chill ones and non-chill ones. The Raven Lord, I need to know more about that. How do you differentiate between a chill one and a not chill one? Okay, what is a not chill one like? I have probably at least 10 questions for you. At least. At Brock Samson 3405 says England seems to be a hot spot for these mythical creatures. Makes me wonder if Tinkerbell, Peter Pan, and Neverland actually exist. Honestly, not a bad thought. I was thinking that too though. England does seem to be a hot spot for fairy sightings. I've never been, but something's going on there. Can the people from England chime in here and let us know? Have you seen a fairy? Are there things about England that us non-English people don't understand? I'm just saying, I don't know, something weird's going on in England. We should do a trip. and we should go explore and see if we can catch some in the act. Don Orts 4820 says, why not? I believe in aliens, the government does too. Who's gonna say they don't exist? I love this attitude. Honestly, why not? Who am I to say they don't exist? I also believe in aliens. And I also believe that the government believes in aliens, but I feel like they're just trying to keep it hidden from us so that we don't panic. Tommy265 says, Olivia, no, you snickered at that one person seeing dogs tear up a fairy. I did laugh, because that is so crazy. The story was that these people saw a fairy and they were like, oh my god, a fairy, and then their dog ate it. You can't tell me that that's not at least a little hilarious. Traumatizing? Absolutely. Also hilarious? Absolutely. And finally, Land Sea Lifestyle 3403 said, Olivia, always love to see you. I appreciate you. I know you've been a I know you've been a subscriber for a very long time. I love seeing your comments. I love seeing you view the videos. I really appreciate it very much. I appreciate you all very much. Thanks for sticking it out with me to the very bitter end. I've been your host today, Olivia Kozlowski. I'll see you all again soon. Love you. Bye.